So to help give you some examples of using other people's money and inspire you how this works, I'm going to get a few people up on the sofa to talk through some case studies. So I'd like you to put your hands together, please, for our first on the sofa, who is Graham Cadlow. Graham, how are you? Take a seat, please. So welcome, Graham. Thanks for coming on. And I'm asking you to come on, and I like people to talk through a deal because people love to see deals and understand the figures, and so we'll do that. But this deal was, you actually did some of your own, but you just raised some other money as well. And I want to talk about that first of all, about how you raise that money, because I know you, like many other people who come on Mastermind, at first think, well, no one's going to lend me money, or how am I going to do that? But you actually borrowed money from someone you don't really know that well. First of all, tell us a bit about yourself. Sorry.
Okay. I've had a caravan park for the last 15 years, so I've kind of been working on the business, and I decided that I wanted to get financial freedom, and hence joining Mastermind. Had one or two single buy-to-lets, got my money stuck in, didn't really know how to get it out, which was a bit of a problem when it comes to further investment.
So you knew the benefits about investing, but you'd kind of put money in and it was just kind of stuck there.
Exactly, yes.
Right,
yeah.
Okay. So you got to the point where you had some money, but you thought you didn't have enough to do what you wanted to do going forward.
Yes, that's right. I have a daughter with additional needs, so
one
of the things I've wanted to do is set her up for the future when
Absolutely.
we're no longer
And
here.
how do you find that as a motivator? Because I'm a great believer, if you have a really strong reason why, you're going to be more successful. And sometimes having a family member, a child, or a spouse, you want to get them out of work, whatever, that sometimes motivates you more than just doing it for yourself.
It does. And I sort of think that my property business has to be around for the long term, so I have to do things with integrity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which allowed me partly to get this investor because he trusts me, and that's a big part of it.
Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about this. How did you find this particular investor?
He was at my daughter's school. My wife and his wife were doing something for the PFA, and she just happened to mention that we do property and we offer investors a great return on their money. Not thinking anything would come of it, and they just said that actually we've got money and we might like to invest.
Yeah, so this was to the other wife?
Yes, of course. Okay. Yes. So I texted this her husband, because I got the number, and he said, okay, let's meet up for coffee. So straight away I did it. I took immediate action.
Good.
Next day, met him for coffee. Kind of had my plan. I'd sort of put a deal sheet together of what the deal was going to be, how I was going to do it at phase 1, phase 2, how I was going to give him his money back, did all of that. Went with the idea of thinking actually he might only accept 6% because he's not in property circles. But he ended up being a lot more sophisticated and said he wanted 12%. So
oh, really? Okay. And interesting. So within property circles, 8, 10, 12, the 1% a month, 12% is a very common figure that people look for. But outside of property, if you offered someone 12%, they'd, what do you mean? That sounds way too good to be true. And when we started Crown Property, we were offering 10% to the investors. And I had a number of people, like accountants, etc., come and say, that's too much. It's got to be risk, got to be junk bonds, it's got to be really risky. And we lowered the rate, more people want to lend. Just remember that. It's really interesting. So, but if this was a sophisticated, what's his background then?
He was an accountant, actually.
Oh, okay. So he was all over the numbers.
He was all over the numbers, yes.
Okay.
I thought I might have, I kind of sort of went there expecting to have to convince him to trust me, but he was very analytical. He had to look at the numbers. I'd made sure that I put in figures for voids and maintenance, even though the property would be refurbished, because if not, the numbers wouldn't be believable for him.
So you've been very conservative, very realistic on the figures.
Exactly, yes.
And then he could say, and this is interesting because if you have a good deal, if someone's smart and you present the figures, they'll get it. They'll say, oh, I can see you're making lots of money. They need to know you're making money because they need to know how you're going to afford to pay them back. And they've got to understand how that's going to happen, because that's one of the biggest things people want to know. How am I going to get my money back? Really important. Okay. So so how much did he lend you?
He lent 75,000.
Right. So someone you didn't really know.
That's right.
And was it on the first meeting, or did you have to build a bit more rapport?
No, it was on the first meeting.
Yeah, which is unusual, by the way. But I guess there was trust through the wives and the connection of the school.
Exactly, yes.
So that all kind of helped.
I had met him once or twice at sports days, that sort of thing, but not really to talk to. We've never sort of chatted about anything, really.
Okay, well, let's talk through this particular deal. Take us through the numbers, please.
Okay.
You're not going to rent it out in that state. It's terrible.
Actually, I needed to get his money because I probably wouldn't have had the money to do the refinance unless I'd remortgaged everything, so it was much quicker to borrow the money than it would have been to go through the whole process.
Absolutely, going direct to private. Private lenders far more. Sometimes you might pay a slightly higher rate than a traditional mortgage, but the flexibility, the speed is kind of worth paying more money, isn't it?
It is,
okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Talk us through the numbers, please, Graham.
Okay, so I found this one on the estate agents. I offered 280 first of all. It was rejected. I did the exchange delay completion thing for the full asking price of 320.
Yeah.
But they were fairly straight-laced. They didn't want to. It was its deceased estate.
Right.
I know somebody else had offered 285 because I had a good relationship with the agent.
Great.
So it sat around for another month, and I just decided I'd just up the offer just a little bit above this other person's offer, and they accepted. I think that was partly because of the relationship I built it with the estate agent, who also trusted me.
Yeah, so again, it's coming to this relationship thing, isn't it? So important.
Yeah. So I initially budgeted 75 for the refurbishment, but it's an old Victorian house, so I wanted a contingency as well. So I sort of budgeted 85,000.
Okay.
And so the initial funds to do the project was 167. So 75 I borrowed, the rest I put in myself.
Yeah,
yes,
okay, great. But you wouldn't have had enough cash to do this if you hadn't done that loan?
No, I wouldn't have. No,
okay,
I would have had to try and raise money through remortgaging, and would have been vacant for a while.
Okay.
Okay. What I'm doing in Folkestone is undergoing a huge regeneration project, so it's becoming quite arty. So I'm moving into the co-living, the good stuff that Stuart Scott and Higgy House are doing.
Yes.
That's what I want to bring to Folkestone. So initially I'm doing it as a 6-bed co-living. I'm expecting 3,015 rent. After I've got it up and running, so it's licensed, and then I'll then move on to Surrey Generous Plan.
Right, so this is in progress at the moment?
It is, yes. So this is for phase 1.
Yeah, okay.
So the monthly costs after it's up and running, I'm expecting 3,315 rent, and then monthly costs, which also includes maintenance and voids, which I probably won't need, or I hope I'm not.
Since you've just refurbed it,
exactly,
hopefully not. Yeah.
And good rooms as well. So I'm hoping they won't be vacant for the first year or two at any rate.
Yes.
So this is going to give me a cash flow of 1682.
Who'd be happy with that as a cash flow from an HMO? Pretty happy with that, yeah? It's good, but there's money in it at the moment, so we want to refinance, take that out, okay.
That's right. At this sort of rate, I think it's only 12% ROI, which is good for the southeast. It comes down to what Stuart said yesterday in the south. You have to add value in order to get your money back out, which is why I'm taking it through 2 phases of...
Yes, and if you're going through planning, it's wise to do it in a stage at a time, because then that's much easier to get accepted. If you try and go for the biggest thing straight away, often you get knocked back. So doing a phase up is exactly the right way to do it.
Right, okay,
Okay.
And also it costs an arm and a leg waiting for planning. I've got vacant
Absolutely.
property and paying mortgage and stuff. So phase 2 is after planning permission. I've conservatively said another 500 rent, but again, it's going to be a good quality ensuite room, so I'm hoping for 545, yes. But I don't want to count my chickens before they've hatched.
Right, yeah.
And the monthly costs will go up a little bit because we'll be on a commercial product, so the interest rate's going to be a bit higher, and there's more people in the house. The actual cash flow will go down, but that's partly because the costs go up.
Yes, of course.
At this stage, after I've refinanced, that's when I can pay my investor back. And then I have that trust and relationship, and hopefully get a testimony.
And he'll probably want to lend it back again. And he might have a lot more than 75 next time.
Actually, he does. When he agreed to lend me this, he wanted to see it in my own name first. I gave him a tour the day after I completed. He came down, sort of checked it all out, and it was on the back of that he said, okay, well, let's do it. Next day, the money was in my account, and he said there's more money if I had other projects, so he's kind of bought into it and he trusts me.
And what's the time scale, do you reckon, of putting the money in and actually getting it back to him? How long do you think you need it for?
Well, it's a 9-month loan because he wanted a minimum of 9 months.
Oh, okay, right, that's interesting.
It'd probably be 6 or 7 earlier at the earliest, I think, but 9 months is fine. It can extend to up to a year as well.
Fantastic. And then once, because you found this one guy who's obviously got more money, once you've given it back to him, as you said, that might really open the floodgates. And once he's trusted you as well, you might be able to get a slightly lower rate.
Yes, that's right, yeah. As soon as I had this house, I conducted tours and showed other people. And I think it's that confidence that you get from having one investor. I sort of now believe that I could get investors. And by doing those tours, I've got another couple of people who are interested in lending.
Let's think about that belief thing. Before, did you really not kind of believe that people would lend you money?
No, I didn't. I
don't think most people do.
I mean, that first morning of Mastermind when we do the sort of
the four-part presentation.
A few of us were rolling our eyes. Yeah, we can do it, find the good deals, but this bit is a different sort of thing. But I think once you do it once, and then there's like that belief, and then I think the not having money has been the thing that's holding me back. Whereas now I actually believe I can get the money. And
and the reason we're having you up here is hopefully you're going to be inspiring other people to think, actually, maybe this stuff does work.
Yeah, it does. Yes, it definitely does work. Yes, and I think as long as you have that integrity that you want to pay the money back
and looking after their money more than you would your own.
Exactly.
Absolutely, really important. Okay, excellent. So, any tips you would give the audience in terms of raising private finance from people?
I think that's tell everybody what you do.
Yes.
Paint a vision, sort of know what you're going to do yourself, and have that large vision so that you know what you're doing, and then you're confident about where you're going, and then that confidence people can sense, and you know that you're this is the plan you're going to deliver, and that's I think that's the main thing. Yeah,
fantastic. I think that's great advice. Graham, thank you so much for sharing. Let's give Graham a massive round of applause. Thank you, Graham. Thank you. Grab that. Hey, it's Simon here. I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this inspirational case study. I'm sure you got a huge amount out of it. And if you want to learn more about how you can use this incredible strategy, I've prepared 2-hour on-demand online training for you completely free of charge, teach you what you need to know to be a successful HMO investor and landlord. All you have to do is look in the description below this video, click on the link and register to get access to that free training. I suggest you do it right now.